So we've gone through and we have the series of voltages that are suggested to be measured in the service manual. And they basically walk through measuring the outputs of each of these regulators. Now, everything seems in spec. The only one that is outside of the spec that they include in there are the voltages at these ESPs. So they have us measure across this filter capacitor and this filter capacitor with respect to ground, which is, they use the common ground back over at the C83 on the ground plane side of it. So these ones were like on the order of 0.1 volts or 0.2 volts above what they should be. And it's a very, very specific range. It's supposed to be 5.28 volts to, was it 5.28 to 5.
No, it's 14.25 to 15.75. No, I'm sorry, 5.23 to 5.27.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we got a 0.05, like 50 millivolt range that it can be within there. So those ones, that's a positive 5 volts. So it could be from, I suspect that may be what this LM317 is for, to give us something within the range of 5 volts, but it's a bit more specific than what a 7805 would regularly spit out. So I see there's a potentiometer here. I wonder if that is for potentially adjusting the output voltage from here, maybe? I guess the manual will probably tell us a bit more about that. Apart from that, everything else looks good for the supply voltages. Now, the other thing that I'm curious about is, because we know that it's ESP-B, that is the channel that's flaky, what I want to do is I'm going to swap these two, and we should see one of two things. Either the problem continues on that channel, or it migrates over to here. If it goes over here, then that tells us that this ESP could be a problem. If it stays over here, then it could be maybe something weird with the supply voltage, or it's perhaps something in the logic over here, so maybe a bad RAM chip. There's some other guys here, 74373. I'm not sure if that's a tri-state bus buffer or what, but anyhow, that would be the other place to look. So we're going to try doing the swap here next and see what happens. Okay, so I've taken out the two ESPs. This one is from the B slot. This one is from the A slot. So now I'm going to swap them, and we're going to power it up and see what happens. Okay, so I swapped these two ESPs, A and B. So we're going to either see channel B still flakes out, or it's switched over to channel A.
I'll have to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Good. So 75.
Ooh, it really doesn't. Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There it goes.
Okay, see if it makes room or not.
So it's A?
Yeah, but it's doing it when it's bypassed.
Really?
It's doing it opposite.
Huh.
See, that's in bypass. Oh, no.
It is B still?
Yeah. Yes, it is B still.
Okay.
Chips are fine.
Yeah, so the next thing I would suspect is one of these RAM chips.
Yeah, the RAM, or it's not the chips, because...
Actually, the other place is potentially one of these 74373s. If those are, I'd have to check what they are in the data book, but it could be one of those that it is basically acting as an interface between the ESP and the memory, I think. So if there's something flaky with one of those, we can check that out with the oscilloscope and the logic analyzer. But so that's good. So we know that it's not these, which is also good because those are the
hardest to...
The hardest, yeah. Any of these guys, they're
generic?
Yep.
Cool.
It would be the best as if it was one of those, because those are really dirt easy to get. Memory's a little bit more difficult, but so time to dig in with the scope.
Woohoo!